What's up, guys? Welcome back to another video. Today's going to be a good one because I finally got my wrench rabbit kit. So now it is time to start tearing this engine down. I'll start by taking the reed cage out, and then I'll take the gear off, and then I'm going to go into the flywheel and get the clutch lever out, and then I'll get the stator out of there after. So to take this flywheel out, the flywheel weight there, you're going to need a 14 mil, and you're going to need a, I ordered this Motion Pro flywheel puller. So first you take the nut off. And then to get the flywheel off, you just have to thread this into the flywheel. But the trick is to this is, I think it's a left-handed thread, so when you put it in, you have to go left to tighten it in. Is definitely a left-handed thread. Go as far as it wants to go. So we'll give her a shot here. I'll give that a quick hit. There it is. So how this flywheel puller works is you put this piece inside the flywheel. So that's all one solid piece. This piece goes through, and it goes through here, and it contacts this, and it pulls this whole unit backwards. This going in this way, the reaction is this pulling the other way. I don't know if there's any other way to get these things out, so if you're going to do this job, you're going to want to get one of these flywheel pullers. I'll link it down below where I got it from. So next thing I'll do is I'll take these bolts out of the stator. It looks like there's only two, so it shouldn't be too bad to come out of there. And then with that little piece removed, I'll be able to get that piece of linkage out for the clutch. Just like that. So that piece there is what's holding this clutch linkage from coming out. So now it should come right out of there. So I'm really interested to see what's been leaking out of this this little hole. I think it might be a tattletale hole, because I've been having some issue with I put a video up about it, about why my bike was kind of, it seemed like it was idling up when I let off the throttle. And I'm thinking, if that's letting oil out, this is all the crank shouldn't be letting any air in from anywhere else around here. So if there's a leaky seal that's letting oil out, chances are it's letting air in. So that's where it could have been picking up the air, even though I was off the throttle. So I'm gonna I'm interested to see what's in there. So if there's some kind of seal that's supposed to be sealing oil in and air out in the crankcase there, that might be what my issue was. And I also see if I can zoom in on it there. So my my main seal has been leaking too. So like I said, that could be letting air into the case as well as letting oil out. So I got the engine up on the stand now. I'm gonna take the clutch apart, and these are just 10 mil, and there's 6 of them. So then you just go ahead and pull them out. I like to pull them out a little bit even. Doesn't hurt to have parts bags or Ziplocs or something around. Keep all these little pieces in. Don't think it matters how these go back in, so any spring can go in any hole. So you just take the pressure plate out. Oh, geez. Sticky. All right. So now you get to these little locking tabs, and I think a screwdriver is probably good enough to get that out. But if you want, you can take the clutch plates out first, I think. I might need a new clutch basket. These are worn pretty deep. Get them started and then get the bigger screwdriver in there. You just straighten these tabs out and then you can get the nut off after. And then your whole clutch assembly will come out. I just took some discs out just to try and avoid them falling out or whatever. Not sure how big this one is, but this is going to work. It's probably a metric, but a 1 1/16 will work for the exact size. Looks like it's say it's a 27, but this one should pull it out, and it should be just a regular right-handed thread. There it is. So there's a washer here, don't forget about that. It might be stuck on there. Suctioned in by the oil. Like everything else. There it is, yeah. So keep that with the nut. And now your Your inner clutch should come out. Okay, so now that I got that part of the cover off, now I'm going to just look for any little things that kind of jump out, like stuff like this here. This is where the water pump assembly came out of, and there's a little washer there. So you want to try and keep all that stuff together if you can. So keep that on the back of that gear. Like I said before, there's a little basket, or a little there's a little collar and a bearing. So there's you get your clutch basket out, you've got a set of needle bearings, and you've got a collar there, so just be aware of that. I'll show you, or see if you can see. Let's see if I can show you how bad the grooving is here. It's not good. So I'll have to definitely kind of look into how far I can file those down or whatever, but I don't know. Might dig deep in the pockets and get a new clutch basket. We'll see. So now you can start taking the little gears and stuff like that out. So this is just the idler gear, so you got to be careful with that one. I think there's a sleeve on that one too. Yeah, so there is a little sleeve on that one. So I'm just gonna put that back in like that, just so I know how it's supposed to go against the case. I don't think it matters, but I just noticed that the textured part of the gear was facing out and the smoother part was facing in. So I'll just go with that, and that's probably how I'll put it back in, because it was most definitely working before I took this apart. So, and also this bolt here has to come out, and this gear should come out. I don't think these are timed. I don't see any marking on them. So that's usually a good indicator that things like this are timed. Like if I can get this, if I can get this out without, there we go. So again, little washers. Okay, here we go. There's another little washer there for the Kickstarter. I don't want to get too far here because I want to start tagging all this stuff and bagging it up. But I just want to go into, this is a little keeper for the spring, so I'll keep it there for now. And I'll see if I can get this out. Okay. Just because, where is it? Here it is. And so I don't think this moved. No. So I took this apart and put that down for now. The Kickstarter was out of timing. So you can see the one dot here. So it's not lined up with that other dot. So it's supposed to be. So when it goes in, when I put this back in, it's got to look like that. So you want to see these two dots lined up like that, and they weren't. So I guess it wasn't far enough out, because this, I could kick this thing over fairly easily, and it wasn't hard for the Kickstarter to retract and then fold back in. Maybe it was a little bit weak. I just assumed because it hadn't been oiled in a while, but that Kickstarter definitely did go in out of time. So the next thing I'll be doing is taking the shift internals out. So these ones here, these three look like 10 mil. There it is. So I see it's spring loaded. So I think you have to take that bolt out to get to the spring. But I know this here, there's a couple of little detents in there. So you just got to be careful pulling that out, because there's a lot of small little pieces in there. Here's the plate. Try and take it out nice and careful, because I see they want to come out of there. They have to go back in a certain way, so you want to have a good look at them before they all fall apart. So these little detents right here, you got to be careful, because they do go in certain ways. So if you can, take some good pictures, do like I'm doing here, take some video, and see, because there's little notches that they have to go into on either side. So just try and remember that. Other than that, if you got little baggies around, it always helps. I got all these little ones from all my spec bolt kits. So you want to keep all these together for sure, and label them. I'm taking a lot of pauses just because I like to bag and tag as I go, especially when I'm doing something new to me like this, just to make sure everything goes into a place where it can get stored, where I can kind of try and remember how it went. Must be torqued in there good. Again, as you're taking this apart, just watch for any washers or anything like that, or little spring-loaded bits, which I know what that was. It was this little guy here. So see, like that can just go straight into this bag here. I like to keep bags handy. And this is, I don't know if that can be seen there. Yeah, you can kind of see it. So this is just a little spring-loaded piece, just to keep the shift drum in place. So just on the other side of this is that's the shift drum there. Oh, I put my starter part somewhere. There it is. That's where that one belongs to. Now, I don't see any. I'll clean it off good, but I don't see any indexing marks. I think this gear just goes on. Doesn't really matter which way, but I noticed that oh no, okay, so that's easy enough. So that raised piece just goes in the back. But there's no timing marks, is what I mean. I'm pretty sure that that's the push rod for the clutch in there. There goes some coolant. Yeah, here it comes. All right, so that does not look like it matters which way it comes out. Yeah, that is definitely the push rod for the clutch there, so remember to take that out, or it might surprise you. All right, so I got everything out that I wanted out today, so it's starting to get late, so I'll probably shut her down for now. Tomorrow I might go ahead and split the case halves, but I have I do have the case halves ready to split. I'm pretty sure. So, like I said, I've got the Tusk case splitter tool there. So tomorrow, I'll just go ahead and pull these two cases apart and see what all this stuff looks like in there. It feels good, but that doesn't mean everything. All right, well, I got the engine back on the bench here out of the engine stand, and now I just have to get these bolts out. And I've got the Tusk case splitter right here, so I'll pull these bolts out and then I'll hook that up and see if I can split these cases. So I got the bolts out now, and I got the puller all set up. So how I set the puller up was there's two threads that basically go straight over the crank, and I set this one over here so that we can try and pull this at the same time. So it's a 17 mil for this crank puller. So I'll give it a shot here now and see what it does. So as you can see, it took me a bit to get it going. I think mainly because like this gasket's been glued on there. When I put this back together, it's just going to be the gasket. It's not going to be any Loctite or any kind of sealing compound or anything like that. The sealing compound is the gasket, so I'm just going to leave it at that. So now I've got this case split. So now you get the it's time to get the shift forks out of here. So that gear got a little bit messed up there. So make sure you keep everything where it's supposed to be on these shafts here. I'm going to recheck them after, because this has obviously been apart because this is a hot rods crank. So to get these shift forks out is you just pull the shaft out and then the fork should come right out for you. So this one here says WL, and that was on the top. So any lettering seems to be facing up. So you take the other shaft out, and you should be able to get the other fork out after that. You may have to lift up the gears a little bit to get them out, but just make sure they all line up again after. So this one came out like this, and the 4C was facing downward. And then you can take your shift drum right out, and then followed by the last fork there. And there's 4R was facing up and this one was on the bottom. So now with that done, now you can take out the let me scoot this over. Okay, see if I can push these out a little bit. Try and get them both at once. Nope, those gears aren't going to come out. So I'm going to make some room over here. And it's always a good idea to zip tie these. So you zip tie them here, and then you zip tie them on the other side when you get it out. Then it's less likely to all fall apart on you. So what I'll do is I'll try and tip this up like this. That's something that fell out of there. That's no good. Don't know what that's for. And then you just try and take both these shafts out at the same time. And you try and bring the gears with it too. Try and keep it all in one kind of piece there. Then you just set it over on the side. And you try your best to keep the gears lined up. Best you can, but sometimes it's a little difficult. So I'm going to put a zip tie on that other end. If I can set her up. Here a second. Definitely going. One more, that's all it took. Now we've got the crank right out of there. So now we have the case half split, so I think next what I'll do is I'll probably just take the case splitter off, and I'll probably just try and organize what I've got done here. So I found out what that little piece is that fell out earlier. It goes in the shift drum. It's the dowel there. All right, well, I got the cases all split now, so the only thing left to do is just scrape all this crap off, which I don't think is going to be very fun. And little things like get the dowels out. I'm pretty sure I ordered dowels. Get my bearings out. Make sure what bearings I have. If like just bearings like this, if the Wrench Rabbit kit doesn't have like the shift drum bearing, I don't think I'm going to worry about it because they don't really rotate like the main bearings do. With all that done, now it's just knocking all the bearings out. So I went ahead and just knocked all the bearings out of the cases. I didn't film it, but I will. I'll tell you a little bit about what I did. I just used sockets. So you just, if you need to, I had to heat up this part of the case and knock the mains out, but the other ones come out pretty easy. And on this side of the case here, you definitely need a blind bearing puller for this one and for that one. This one here came out pretty easily, and this one here I had to heat up. I'll link a video down below how to get these bearings out. A guy by the name of Kamen Nimala did a great video. That's the one I kind of watched to see how it's done. So with that said, I'm probably going to just have to wait until I get I got a parts washer on order. So it's going to be a little bit just to get all the heavy stuff off. And then I've been trying to shine up the cases a little bit. So that's going to take quite a bit of time to do. All right, guys. Well, I'm going to wrap up the video here. If you like this video, make sure you like it. And if you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe and hit the notifications bell if you want to see the rest of this build. So in the next video, I'll probably be doing a little bit of parts washing, and then I'm probably going to install the bearings and start building the bottom end of the engine up again. So we'll see you next time, and thanks for watching.